The International Plan B. Reality versus Fantasy. Hi, my name is Hanna. Our firm has been dealing with high net worth individuals since the 1980s. Today, I wanted to share two secrets. I want to share patterns that we have observed over the long decades of working with wealthy international entrepreneurs, investors, retirees, and expats. Are you ready? Let's find out. Like many astute observers, our view is that the health crisis that started in 2020 did not necessarily create any new social or business trends. It instead served as a catalyst. I mean that certain key pre-existing trends were accelerated by the health crisis. We are all familiar with the trend towards remote working, digital currencies, and online learning, for example. What I want to highlight today are two trends specifically among the higher net worth international entrepreneurs, investors, and expats in our network. One is pretty obvious, but the other may actually surprise you. Okay, let's talk about the first trend, the trend towards having a plan B. I'm not necessarily talking about bunkers, although sales of these have spiked recently. I'm talking about second homes, second residency, and second passports. In terms of second homes, let's look at New York, for example. When the lockdowns happened in 2020, residents understandably wanted access to more spacious living spaces in less densely populated neighborhoods. According to the New York Times, there was a mass exodus of 420,000 New Yorkers between March 1st and May 1st, 2020. Roughly 5% of residents, or about 420,000 people. In the city's very wealthiest blocks, in neighborhoods like the Upper East Side, the West Village, Soho, and Brooklyn Heights, the residential population decreased by 40+%. Can you imagine 40% of your neighborhood leaving in just 2 months? Similar trends were seen in densely populated urban areas around the world during the lockdowns. For many, having access to a countryside home is now a priority. A plan B can be in the same state. For example, many wealthy New Yorkers went to homes nearby in the Hamptons or Martha's Vineyard. Others went to homes in other states, such as Florida. But often that plan B of a second living space is not within the same country, but may be in a different legal jurisdiction. We have all seen cases where a country goes under lockdown and tourists are not allowed in. So high net worth individuals have been busy acquiring alternative residency and/or citizenships. Anecdotal evidence from government-approved investment migration teams suggests that two of the more popular options are Europe and the Caribbean. We have done several videos on Spain and Portugal in Europe, as well as the 5 Caribbean territories that offer citizenship by investment. You should check them out. In Europe, Portugal and Malta have received an influx of Americans seeking residency or citizenship, but there are probably more Americans in the UK. So that's the first more obvious trend, so now we can discuss the second and less obvious trend. Here it is. Wealthy people tend not to move. I'm citing research done by Professor Cristobal Young from Stanford and Cornell universities. His publications include The Myth of Millionaire Tax Flight: How Place Still Matters for the Rich, published by Stanford University Press. Millionaire Migration and the Taxation of the Elite: Evidence from Administrative Data, published by the American Sociological Review. Professor Young's research shows that the wealthier someone is, the less likely they are to permanently move. In the US, when millionaires do move, they admittedly tend to favor lower tax states over higher tax ones, but only marginally so. Around 15% of interstate millionaire migrations bring a net tax advantage. The other 85% have no net tax impact for the movers. Outside of the US, analysis of the Forbes list of the world's billionaires shows that about 84% still live in their country of birth. And among those who do live abroad, most moved to their current country of residence long before they became wealthy, either as children with their parents or as students going abroad to study and then staying. But it is worth noting that wealthy individuals from developing countries are more likely to move than wealthy individuals from wealthy countries. So how do we reconcile these two apparently conflicting trends? Remember, we first said that the wealthy are increasingly gathering Plan B citizenships and residency options. Then we said that the wealthier someone is, the less likely they are to move. Well, to explain the apparent paradox, we can look at the small European nation of Malta. Malta does offer citizenship to those that can afford the price tag of just over $1 million, and the citizenship has been very popular among wealthy Americans recently. Given that Malta is part of the European Union, a Malta passport gives the holder the right to live and work anywhere within the EU. But relatively few tend to actually live in tiny Malta. This trend is confirmed by our network of government-approved investment migration teams. They are reporting a spike in wealthy Americans, in particular acquiring overseas Plan B options. So my point is that many wealthy individuals may acquire an overseas Plan B in the form of a foreign residency or foreign passport, but they then put it in their back pocket. It's there if and when they need it. Billionaire Aliko Dangote is the richest man in Africa and has 8 passports, but resides in his home country of Nigeria. Billionaire co-founder of PayPal Peter Thiel resides at home in the US, but is also a citizen of New Zealand. Billionaire co-founder of Google, Larry Page, lives at home in the US, but also has residency in New Zealand. Former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, lives in the US, but also has Cyprus citizenship. We can go on, but I think you got the point. If you are a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you are looking for. My name is Hanna, part of the team at htj.tax.